like what symptoms I had because they're trying to check and make sure that what I'm saying applies to them too. It applies to everybody. It
Yeah.
applies to everybody. It doesn't matter if like I had headaches and you didn't, or if you have a rash that wasn't like mine. It doesn't matter. It's all the same advice for everybody for every symptom.
Because it's about changing your relationship to your symptoms. It's about breaking the fear loop, and that can happen with any symptom for any illness.
Hi, Audrey. So this is cool. Audrey has a Facebook group where they're actually allowed to talk about getting better. And
Oh, really?
they're allowed to talk about the possibility of healing and not staying stuck forever.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
that's good.
So you just sit here and mess with your computer?
I usually do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Last time they were throwing questions at us so fast.
I know.
But we'll do the podcast later,
You want to do it tonight?
I guess, and we'll talk about moving to rural Canada and
Moving to rural Canada.
except I'm not allowed to complain, so
To
I'm
say-
not sure what I'm supposed to say.
Says my mom.
What am I supposed to talk about if I'm not complaining? What am I supposed to do?
But Tori Nance complains. It's just what she
It's
does.
fucking what I do. But if I'm not allowed to complain, then there's no podcast.
Right.
Talk about something else. Pick another topic, I guess. Well, maybe we answered all the questions in the last two.
Then maybe we don't need to go live anymore.
Maybe not. Or maybe like once a month instead or something. Or like when we feel like it. You used to go live like 3 times a week.
I did,
You
yeah.
don't do that anymore.
No, I haven't gone live by myself in a long time. Like, I think the last time was when I published my book. I went live to promote it. But no, not since we've been back. I haven't. I should. I think it's better that we go live together. Like, everything that we're doing is together. Like,
Yeah.
whether we're talking about relationship stuff or we're talking about chronic illness stuff, it's all the same thing, just shaped differently.
Yeah. She said, how do you decide which foods to start adding back first? I just picked the stuff that I really liked that I used to have a lot of. So like coffee, I think I started with ice cream and then coffee because those were 2 things that I really wanted and that I could remember having a baseline of tolerating. So I just started with those because I really, really wanted them. You have to really want it or it's hard to persist through symptoms. So, like, don't pick, like, cabbage or something gross that you don't like. Because I remember saying that. I was like, I don't think I would risk it for, like, a piece of lettuce. But I would totally risk it for an ice cream. So, pick something that you really, really, really like. It doesn't matter how healthy it is. Just pick something good. Something worth it. Good. I'm glad it's been helpful. Somebody said something on here. It disappeared. Thank you for giving me the tools to learn. That's your stuff.
That's my stuff. You're welcome. Good. I'm glad. I mean, all of that stuff is still very relevant. It's still very relevant.
Your hair smells like straight chemicals.
Sorry, baby.
Let me see. Oh my God.
Sorry, baby.
It's straight chemicals. It's fine.
I just got my hair done today.
It's fine with me.
We're getting ready for the wedding.
It's just funny because when we started, I was like, get your head away from me.
Yeah, you almost went into, you had such a severe reaction. Remember you tried to sleep over at my house?
Yeah,
And you had such a severe reaction that you left. You thought like you were going to die because
yeah.
of the chemicals on my head.
I drove 2 hours back to Detroit.
Back to Detroit, yeah.
I was like, I can't fucking stay here. If you insist on dyeing your hair, see you in 3 days.
She thought I was abusive. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody in abusive relationships points the finger at the other person. Everybody does. Hello,
Lovers or sisters?
lovers.
Why?
Lovers.
Why does this happen every time?
I don't know.
Our twins? No.
No.
Why does this happen every time?
This is my fiance. We're getting married in less than 2 weeks.
This would never happen if like I was a man and you were a woman. People wouldn't be like, "Are you siblings?" They would
No.
never assume that.
No.
That's interesting.
MPD really helps with BPD. I mean, there's a lot of similar behaviors in terms of like the needing validation, the black and white, all or nothing thinking, but those things exist in everybody. Like we need to remember that narcissism is a spectrum that everybody is on. Like even a lot of healed people, like health people who consider themselves healthy are actually quite narcissistic, just in a different way. It just presents differently. And so, it was really humbling for me to recognize my own narcissism and to integrate that, because without doing that, you're just boxing and labeling and categorizing people. And by doing that, you remove their humanity. Like one of the things that I love most about this girl right here is she is a walking contradiction everywhere.
What do you mean?
Like you're just contradictions. Like you're sassy and you're soft. Like
Okay.
you just have these an entire paradox. And like so to like try to categorize somebody and put them in a box and in a label, like it just removes their humanity. And from my perspective, it strips them of the complexity that they are and seeing the beauty in humanness. So
somebody asked if we were getting married. Yeah, we're getting married September 2nd.
September 2nd.
We're just getting ready to ask if you still had sensitivities to chemicals in certain. Yeah, they've gotten better. So, like, the other day, I sat at a band practice where everybody was smoking cigarettes inside with Glade plugins and all the things, and it was totally fine. Hospital before and taken me like 2 days to recover from, and I would have had horrible asthma attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can just sit and be anywhere. People smoked cigarettes in my face all weekend.
All weekend at
and I
my
was
family's
totally
house. Yeah.
I didn't have to walk away or miss out on it. So yeah, I'm not sensitive to the chemicals anymore. I don't like them. Like I wouldn't choose to put like Febreze in my house, but I can tolerate them now, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have symptoms that showed up later in the day? Yeah. So like, I remember with the coffee, like I drank it one morning and I was fine, and then like when I started driving, like an hour later, I just had like a total meltdown, and like my eyes started swelling, started being itchy, and like just your brain will like just sends you random alarms. They're random. They're random things. They don't make any sense. That's how you know that it's from your nervous system and not a true allergy, because it's random and it doesn't always follow the same pattern, and it doesn't even make any sense half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your brain is doing. I think driving like just added more stress to my day, and then I freaked out. It was stressful trying to drive I don't remember where we were going, but we were driving somewhere.
We were driving
to Florida?
When we were first driving to Florida. Yeah, you got like 10 symptoms back to back.
Yeah.
This one didn't work. Let's try another one. This one didn't work. Let's try another one.
Well, that's another thing people say. Well, I did what you said in your book and I got better, but then a week later I started having new symptoms that I've never even had before.
Yeah.
That's your limbic system trying to throw whatever it has at you to get you to stop trying new things, because it's scary, and its job is to keep you doing the same thing forever,
Mm-hmm.
to keep you from changing, because that's perceived as dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna live stream our wedding? We should. We need to film it anyway.
We'll need to film it.
We need to put up a tripod or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's next? What's next after all this?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, what do we want to do next?
After we get married?
I don't know. I don't know, I guess.
What do you
Just
mean
in general.
next?
What's next in our life?
Mm. I want to travel.
Yeah. Do your music.
Yeah, it's not even started. Yeah. Yeah. And I would like to get back into my music live streams again soon. It's hard when you're trying to do 1,000 things.
Yeah. Yep.
Start a business and get married. It's a little busy.
It's been a little bit busy.
Multiple road trips.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to start my other podcast again in September. I'm going to start it back up. I already have the whole season planned. It's going to be good.
But I would like to travel more again. And I want to go to the casino.
To the casino. Okay.
It's like just a thing that I've been wanting to do.
I know.
Since I got here, we didn't have a casino in Jacksonville.
You don't have smoke-free casinos.
No, we don't have those at all. So that'll be nice.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to smoke indoors. So stupid.
Yeah, it's surprising that you can still do that nowadays.
Yeah.
In this day and age. But yeah, in Michigan, in the casinos, you can still smoke inside.
Yeah, it sucks. A lot of the buildings in Detroit are just old.
Yeah.
And dirty.
Yeah.
YouTube is wild. Just people over here getting blocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, message deleted by.
Deleted.
Oh, yeah.
Deleted.
What else, baby?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I would like to take a nap. Like, I would like to stop doing so much shit. I'm tired. We've been doing a lot. Like, went to Florida, came here, went back to Florida, took all these little side quests, came back, then we traveled again. Now we're getting married. I would like to rest.
You want to rest?
How about the rest of September? We just don't do shit.
Okay.
That would be nice.
Okay.
How about that?
We'll take a little break.
No, we're in Canada. I'm from Florida. I lived in Florida for 36 years, and then I moved to Canada. Oh.
Hi, Mateo. I see Mateo.
That's awesome. Have you read the books? You got a lot of books now. 3, 4? 4?
4. 2 workbooks and 2 just information books.
Oh man, I love St. Pete. St. Pete is much better than Jacksonville. It's much nicer. Like if I was gonna go on vacation, I would go to St. Pete. How do you do in Florida? You mean like illness wise? I was pretty sick there, but that's because I was stuck in fight or flight. I thought it was the mold. And then I started traveling and I realized the mold was literally everywhere and it wasn't the mold, it was me. There were other people who could live in mold and didn't have the same issues as me. It was me. So I figured myself out and now I can be anywhere. I actually played a show in St. Pete before I left and I had a horrible reaction to the concert venue because it was really moldy. But now that I've addressed like my actual issues, I can be anywhere, which is really nice. What are your workbooks for?
So the one is it's a support for our flare kit. So it's a reflection book about, what to do when you have a flare. Like there's a component of it that is reflection based, and then there's a component of it that will like walk you through the steps. So because a lot of the things like we talk about in your relationship with your symptoms, and the other mold book is about recognizing the pattern, like the fear loop as it's about to start, because our brain is really good at focusing on things and trying to predict in a way that is trying to protect. But a lot of the ways in which it does that is actually not helping you. It's harming, it's keeping you in this hypervigilant fear loop and preventing you from doing things like, trying new foods or the way in which you're reacting to the symptoms that you're having. So the one workbook is specifically for that. It's for working through the fear loop. The other workbook is about learning how to expand your attention. So the brain only process, there's so much information that comes into the brain, but I think only 5% of it is something that we're conscious of. Everything else runs subconsciously. So, and it has to do this because there's way too much information. It would be totally overstimulating. So the brain decides based on observing threat where attention needs to go. So attention is typically in the chronic illness space, around your symptoms, around your environment, around your body, the somatic experience. Every time you get a somatic experience, your symptom, your attention goes there. And your brain has a pattern of ignoring everything else that's going on at the same time. And so what I noticed with Tori was she was focused on all the things that were going wrong and not being able to recognize also all the things that were simultaneously going right. So the second workbook is about expanding your awareness to be able to bring in the things that are going right as well. I didn't want to really call it, it's like a gratitude journal, but I didn't want to call it a gratitude journal because there ain't nothing grateful about having a chronic illness. Nobody's grateful for that.
Right.
But so this book is called What Else is True. So it's yes, you have all of your symptoms. What else is going on as well that we can bring some of our attention and our awareness to? So both of them are on Amazon. I'm in a flare.
Yeah.
What Else is True?
The name of the flare book is what is it? It's What Else is True, right?
No, the name of the flare book is I'm in a flare.
And then the workbook.
The workbook is I'm in a flare. And then the other one is What Else is True.
Oh, you're right. They're two separate things.
Yeah, there's two separate
There's
workbooks.
lots of shit. Okay. Yeah. God. There's so many things. That's great. So somebody else said they recovered from POTS, IBS, chronic back and neck pain, pelvic burning and itching using brain retraining. It's for everything. I'm telling you, It's for everything. No matter what your symptoms are.
What I just described is every time my brain goes towards this, I'm strengthening that neural pathway where I'm this is a problem, I need to focus on and fix this. Mm-hmm. And so it's about sort of creating a new pathway so that it stops focusing on it, because if you keep focusing on it, you keep reinforcing it. Mm-hmm. And this isn't to say ignore your symptoms. It's to learn how to take a pause before you react. Because if you automatically react, if I automatically jump into loops of fear, oh my God, what is this? What am I going to do? I need to go on to Facebook. I need to Google. I need to search. I need to ask people. I need to find a solution. If you immediately jump into that spiral, you're reinforcing it. So we're just trying to break all of those patterns.
I just got a great question on TikTok. How much stock, if any, do you put into the location effect? Mm-hmm. The mold avoider shit is bullshit. The mold avoiders are wrong. So the location effect essentially says you can't live in this city, this city, this city, this city, this city. There's a list of 50 cities where you can't live there, you can't heal there, is what they say. Because there's something wrong with the entire, city of Dallas. There's something wrong with the entire city of Houston. There's something wrong with the entire state of Arizona. You can't get well there. You can't get well there. You can't get well there. Bullshit. Your nervous system determines how resilient your body is going to be, how well you function, how well your detox pathways are working, and how sensitive you are going to be to your environment. Change yourself so that you can be anywhere. If you continue to try to control everything around you and where you are and what the people next door to you are doing and what your neighbors are doing, you're never going to be able to be anywhere. That's how those people end up in a damn tent.
Yeah.
They go through house after house after house. I followed the advice of the mold avoiders to a T. I ended up homeless in my car for 9 fucking months. I was never sicker. I got sicker and sicker and sicker because I kept believing that everywhere I go, something could affect me. And I was looking around for like, is there mold here? What's the air quality like outside? What is are my neighbors going to smoke cigarettes? Are there air vents pointing towards me? Am I going to get their dryer sheet smells in my house? Like, it made me fucking insane, and I got sicker and sicker. I ended up selling a house that was perfectly fine, that I could have kept. I went super broke, and I lost everything. And I threw all my shit away twice, and I had to buy it again. Like, it was a fucking nightmare. Like, they need to put that fucking guy in prison. Like, he's like a cult leader at this point, and I know someone will show him this video, and I don't give a fuck. He should be in fucking jail. That's all.
And rant.
And rant. I hope this video gets clipped. So, God, sorry. Fuck that shit.
I feel like all of our books about symptoms will work, whether it's anxiety, like it all works, because what the process is about catching it as it starts and meeting it differently. So if you're meeting your anxiety differently, you're going to have a different experience. I have like a very specific 4-step process on how to change your relationship with your symptoms. It could be with your symptoms, it could be with your emotions, it could be with like any of those things. We're in loops. Our nervous system is stuck in patterns and loops. And so the only way to change a pattern is to meet it differently. I have to catch it once it starts, and I have to do something different than what I've always done. This is my recognition framework. This is in all of my workbooks and, in our books. Mm-hmm. I break it down how to do it, how to interrupt the loop.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, you guys are my speed. Good. Good, because this is all I got. This is the only speed I have. I'm 6 months off meds after a 4-year taper. Anxiety is brutal on waking. Any tips for controlling that, please? I've tried supplements. So this just sounds like self-safety to me. Mm-hmm. Like, that you're having symptoms because, like, the meds, are giving you withdrawal symptoms, and like it's probably like changed some of the like chemicals in your brain, and things will rebalance. I would just continue to remind yourself that like things will rebalance, and mm-hmm. you did this for whatever reason you did, and it just needs time. And in the meantime, you know how to keep yourself safe. Allow the symptoms to be there. Allow
the anxiety to be there. This is when we're trying to get rid of something, whether it's anxiety, whether it's a symptom, whatever it is. Anytime I approach it with the energy of I need to get rid of it, I'm actually not practicing self-acceptance. And by not practicing that, I'm telling my nervous system that this thing is a threat. And so my nervous system is going to continue to wire it. So this is, again, it goes back to meeting the anxiety differently. I need to accept it. It needs to be allowed to be here. It needs to come with me in whatever I'm doing.
You will probably find over time that when you stop caring so much about the anxiety, that it will
just
actually
naturally go away.
Start to fade, yeah. Because you're not making it important. Where are the books? They're in my links on all the platforms. You should be able to find, it's like a Linktree link at the very top.
So we've written 4 so far for this space of chronic illness.
Okay. She said, have you ever experienced hell toxin? Hell toxin is a made-up term that the mold avoiders made up.
What is that?
It's made up. It's made up, dude. It's a cult leader term that a cult leader made up. Hell toxin. It's made up. It's made up. So no, I haven't. I've experienced mold. There's a ton of mold in this house. This is a 39.6 ERMI score, which the mold avoiders would be like, run for your life.
You're going to die.
Everybody in this house is totally fine. But I understand where people are coming from, mm-hmm. because I listened to every fucking thing they said like it was gospel. Mm-hmm. And I believed every word of it, and it all made sense. And so I literally ran my entire life into the ground. following like I was such a good patient. I would follow directions so carefully and so closely, and I would do everything exactly as I was told, and that turned out to be like the worst thing I ever did. I would be so much better off financially right now if I had just not listened. But it's okay. I had to go through all of it. So then now maybe I can save somebody from going that direction.
Learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. Why do some children get symptoms from mold exposure?
I think the truth is everybody gets symptoms. Everybody has some sort of symptom.
Not everybody, but some people do. There's so much nuance. Like we would have to know so much. We would have to know what their home life is like, their trauma, their history, their parents, what their mom is like, their mom's his trauma history. Like there's so many things. Like like the science shows that babies are like traumatized in the womb.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it depends. It just depends on so many things. So it's not necessarily that like, about their stress level or whatever. There's just so many things.
But I think too, like a lot of people, well, I can only speak for myself. Tori would describe having all of these symptoms, and I would be like, I've experienced that before. Like I've had that before. I've experienced that before. I'm sure that I have chronic inflammation, but we live in a society where I feel like it's almost impossible to not have inflammation. So I think like to some degree, just like everybody has a little bit of narcissism, I think everybody has a little bit, and some people, give it all of their attention, and some people don't. And I think that's where what it boils down to is some people organize their life around it and allow it to make a lot of their decisions, and some people don't. And it doesn't mean that the symptoms aren't real. Absolutely, they are.
Right, but like now I could be like, oh, I have a headache today. Is it because the mold? Am I suddenly reacting to the mold in this house? Or is it that like I didn't drink any water for the last 2 days and I was in the sun and like maybe I just have a headache? And like if I wanted to like really blow it up into a big thing, I could focus on it all day, try to figure out where it came from and be afraid of it. And the next time I got a headache, I could try to like, like tinfoil hat, like draw a map and put all the pieces together and try to figure it out. But that's kind of like, you don't even know where the symptoms really come from. We just start attributing everything to mold.
Yeah.
Even when it's not.
Mold is one piece of the load. One piece of the nervous system load.
Mold is like, they make it seem they're charging you for supplements or protocols or remediation, and they make it seem like mold is the big thing, the biggest thing, right? And doctors would say, I can't help you if you live in mold. You have to leave, right? Mm-hmm. And they make it seem like this big. The truth is that mold is like this. It's one little thing, just like everything else is another load. So like your toxic job, your toxic relationship, your stress at work from your kids or whatever you have going on, all these things. And then the mold, like you're sitting in traffic and you have a long commute and you're breathing in exhaust all morning. You're eating food that has preservatives and dyes in it. Like everything is something, right? But like if you're a person who's resilient and grounded and you're regulated, those things are going to affect you much less than somebody who is like in fight or flight, in defense mode all the time.
Mm-hmm.
How much does your girlfriend charge for brain retraining? I don't know.
$19.99 for a book to help. So I would recommend starting with the books because it gives a foundation of what we're doing. Like, there's a lot of perspective shifts that need to happen in order for brain retraining to work. And I feel like you need to be introduced to those perspectives first before you tackle, because like you said, if you start brain retraining, how many people have told you come back when you've done some brain retraining?
Oh, yeah. There's been many doctors that also said, like, don't even start with me until you've done some brain retraining because I know you won't be able to tolerate anything that I would give you anyways.
Kiki case, you can grab our Flare support kit. So we have it all too in like a little kit. It has a workbook. It has a couple of guided practices. So like audios that I recorded to actually walk you through what to do when you're in certain situations, whether it's the start of a flare, whether you're waiting for a flare to end. Like there's 5 different guided audios. There's a workbook. There's an emergency, cheat sheet of what to do. You can grab it, you can save it to your phone, you can pull it up, what I actually need to do once I'm in a flare. And then there's another like comparative guide of what it looks like to be a nervous system symptom or a real true allergy. And so we put it all together in the flare support kit, and it is literally designed to walk you through exactly what to do when you recognize a flare.
They're in my links. So if you go to my links on any platform, it's Linktree. It's gonna be like it's like linktr.ee/Tori Nance Music. You'll see it at the top of my links on all the platforms that I'm on. Are they available for e-reader? I think they're ebooks, but they're not.
So, our books you can get as a PDF, or you can buy physical copies on Amazon.
The animals are all going in.
I know.
They're nuts.
I need to plug my phone in too. It's gonna die. I need to figure out how we're gonna do this.
I will say that we made the books short on purpose because
we know.
I tried to explain that like it's really, really hard to read a book when you're inflamed and you have brain fog and you're stressed out and you're dealing with a million things. So they are short books that anybody can get through. Oh, I see. It's gonna tilt. You might get stuck holding it. Let's see what we can do. Nope.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know.
It's so close. Here, let's see this. This.
Somebody says something over here I missed. Let me look back. Yeah, so Angel said, I've had to throw everything away. I get it. So I did that too. I threw all my stuff away twice. Thousands and thousands of dollars. That is stuff that I had to buy again. And I did not get any better. Just for anybody who's considering like moving and throwing everything away, I did it. I did it twice. I spent $1 million. And I moved. I lost everything twice. I threw it all away, gave it away, whatever. And I didn't get any better. I got a brand new car. I got a brand new house. I was actually worse than before because I had just reinforced in my brain that the mold was the issue, that the environment around me was the issue, that everything I couldn't control was the issue, and it just made me much, much worse. I literally was like, what the fuck? And I didn't get better until I discovered this type of brain retraining, and then I got better. But leaving the mold, it turns out, was not the answer. No, I didn't take any vitamins. I couldn't tolerate them. I couldn't tolerate supplements or medications. I literally couldn't put anything in my mouth. Like, one kind of beef, one kind of salt, one kind of water. That was it. Right, and Angel, I'm sure it helped because that was what you thought was going to help, so it did. But at the same time, what do you do when your life will be really limited, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you do when you go into your friend's house or your family's house? That's what happened with me. I built a perfect environment. No mold in the car, no mold in the house. But then I meet her and I come to her house and her house is full of mold. What am I supposed to do? Be by myself? Because all of my friends and family's houses have mold. What am I supposed to do? Just not go to the grocery store where there's mold, not go to my friends' houses where there's mold, not visit my family, not live with my partner. When your life is based on avoidance, when your health is dependent on your environment being perfect, you'll never be free. You'll never be free. So I had to change myself in my internal state so that I could become resilient and handle any environment, anything that other people were doing. That's important because if you don't, and your safety depends on what other people are doing, if your neighbors choose to smoke cigarettes that day, if your family has a moldy house, if your partner has a moldy house, if your neighbors choose to blast dryer sheets at your house, like, you cannot control other people or your environment all the time. So it's just important to make sure that you're resilient so that you can handle those things.
She was reacting to everything. Mold, chemicals, fragrances, VOCs, all of the things.
My eyes were swelling, my face was swelling, my throat was tight and swelling, my tongue was swelling. I had vertigo, dizziness, nausea, my vision would go out. I had hive breakouts on my arms and chest, stomach. I had all the things, and I reacted horribly to food, mold, chemicals, literally everything, even like elevation. Like I would drive through the mountains and like feel like I was gonna absolutely die. And I had to take steroids. It was a whole mess. And now I don't have any of those issues anymore. I can eat all the foods, do all the things. Um,
What if the reactions are so severe?
it depends how severe the reactions are. So if your throat's closing and you have anaphylaxis and it's a true allergy, don't mess with it. That's between you and your doctor if you have a true allergy. This is for like sensitivities. So, for example, like my hives and itching were not dangerous. Dizziness, poor vision, not dangerous. Vertigo, not dangerous. Even my throat would get tight and it would feel dangerous, but I went through it so many times and it never closed. It just got extremely tight. So at some point, I determined that also wasn't dangerous. So you have to decide for yourself. Like, I got allergy tested, and the allergy test came back and said I did not have any allergies. True allergies. So that meant they were sensitivities. And so I felt confident and safe to retrain on sensitivities. Um, Even though I had to use an EpiPen 2 or 3 times. I don't know that my throat would have swelled completely shut, but it was swelled enough that I like couldn't walk well and couldn't breathe.
This was before all of your brain retraining stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, this was all before. That's important to say. It was all before.
I was like, don't tell them you've had to use your EpiPen.
No, not since.
You've done,
No.
because you haven't.
Mm-mm. I think I'm struggling with how do you tell the differences. So we just put that in the flare kit. In the flare kit, there's a sheet that tells you how to know the difference between a true allergy and a sensitivity. It's one sheet. It's in the flare kit.
Mm-hmm.
I had Herx reactions all the time to different things, like if I would take a probiotic or if I would take like an antifungal or something. But this all happened to me like I lived in mold. I had a moldy job. Then my mom died, and that was super traumatic. I had a bunch of things happen. And it started small, and then I just got sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And that's how it goes because it's a loop. And it'll continue to intensify. And every time you react and freak out to your reaction, you're going to make that even stronger. Just reinforce the loop every single time that the world was dangerous, that foods were dangerous, and it just continued to get worse and worse because of that. Yeah, I had skin burning and itching. I used to tell her all the time that I felt like I was on fire, that my skin was on fire, that my throat was on fire. All that stuff went away. I used to be on steroids all the time and they made me insane. They made me crazy. It made it harder to get well because I was like they put me in like fight or flight. They were really stimulating to me. How did you discover the mind body approach in brain retraining? It's out there. So there were a bunch of like functional practitioners who had like aspects of brain retraining on their, with their protocols. And so I knew about it. And then there was Dr. Becky Campbell said, I can't even work with you if you don't do this brain retraining stuff first. And so I went and looked at DNRS. I looked at Gupta. I worked through both of those programs. I bought both of them, and they have fundamental flaws. When they tell you to stop, 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 and you stop thinking about your symptoms and you go think about something else, you're ignoring your symptoms. And when you ignore your symptoms, you're resisting them, and what you resist will persist. So it creates this whole, it backfires right there, and people end up getting symptoms and getting worse. Because you're not acknowledging the symptoms, you're not learning how to relate to your symptoms. You're just stop, 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 stop. And it makes things worse. And now some people get better that way, but I didn't. A lot of other people didn't. So I found my own way that worked for me in the mind-body space that is a little bit different from what everybody else is doing. The other issue I have with the other brain retraining programs is that they all are a lot of work. And work to me is really stressful. Like if I have to read a whole ass book and do like a gigantic course, like the Gupta program course takes like a fucking year to finish. And I was like, this is stressful. Like I don't have time to sit here and do visuals. I don't have time to do an hour of visuals a day. I don't have time to do meditation all day. Like, I don't have time to do that shit. And it sounds really boring and stressful and like work. And anything that's stressful and like work is another load on my system. It's the opposite of what I'm trying to do, which is to chill the fuck out and stop caring so much.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this didn't take me any work. It took me getting my mindset in the right place, that I understood that I could make a choice to eat the foods I wanted to eat and to deal with whatever symptoms came up, because now I understood they weren't true allergies, they were just sensitivities. I understood how the limbic system works, and I understood that if I just continued to make the choice that I wanted to make, that over time, that part of my brain would rewire, and that would be my new normal. So I just had to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And it took me, I would say, like 3 months total, probably, of doing this. And you just have to make a choice and persist when you make that choice. And
It's like changing a habit. It sounds so basic, but it's literally like creating a new habit.
yeah, the only time I spent, the only work I did was in real time. I was like, I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Okay, I know as soon as I eat this, everything's going to swell up and flare up and all this shit's going to happen. I'm choosing to do this and I'm choosing to put up with it. And because I know that this is coming from my limbic system, it's not dangerous. It's going to be really uncomfortable. That's the only work I did, was while I was eating. I would do that work in real time, but I wasn't sitting there like, okay, time to do my exercises today, because that's not who I am as a person. It's like hours and hours of work, and that's just stressful to me and makes me want to avoid it.
Well, the truth is, the change happens in the moments, anyways. The change doesn't happen. It doesn't happen afterwards when you reflect on it. It doesn't happen in your visualizations. It happens in the moment when you're meeting the symptom differently. Mm-hmm. So you need them in order to have a different experience of them.
Yeah. Yep. What is this? I missed something. Yeah, I used to get panic attacks and anxiety while I was eating or after. Yeah. I had a lot of fear around foods and like would I react, and what I really needed that would have saved me from all that is like self-safety. I know how to keep myself safe. If I react, what will I do? And just, I should have handled it that way. But instead, I just tried to avoid. And that got me down to one food and super short hair and nutrient deficiencies. But nobody is teaching self-safety except us. I've not seen another person teaching self-safety on the internet.
No.
Not that I've seen.
No.
That would have saved me.
I get met with, so we're just supposed to be fucking islands? And we meet our own needs? We're just an island? No, people don't teach it.
No. That would have saved me a lot of time and money and stress.
It's just building your trust with your intuition and your inner guidance system. So it's just learning how to build self-trust. Like, we live in a society that teaches us to not trust ourselves. Like, we constantly look to the experts, and we look to, all of these people that are supposed to be experts, but really just keep you chasing your fucking tail. And so we don't learn how to trust ourselves. Our body knows what to do when we give it the space to do it. But because we doubt ourselves and we don't know how to read our body's signals, we end up, in these patterns. So
somebody said, what would a self-safety session look like? So I did like 3 reintroduction demonstration videos this week. So if you go look at my content, I posted them, like how to do it. I literally had the food or drink in my hand and I showed you how to do it. It's also in the books.
And the Flare Kit.
And in the Flare Kit. So it's in all the resources. There's actual step-by-step process there. This person said, did you get insomnia? Yes, I had bad insomnia when I would have a flare. Makes sense because I was in fight or flight, right? Makes sense that I wouldn't be able to sleep or relax because I was doing the opposite of relaxing. I was freaking the fuck out, feeling unsafe. What is your diet like now? I eat everything. I try to eat healthy. I try to eat like meat and eggs and vegetables and like an occasional fruit. But I've been thinking about cookies all day and I've almost broken a few times. I had a fancy coffee today. I had a little bit of weed, but which is probably why I kiss it. But like, I feel like I'm trying really hard to eat healthy. I can eat everything. That's the problem. So now that I can eat whatever I want, all of my eating disorder shit is back, and I have to sort through all that and deal with all that. Like, how do I keep myself in control? I do all the things, but I'm trying to be healthier. But now that I have a choice, it's really hard to behave. Truth. I don't have anaphylaxis, so I know my symptoms aren't dangerous. That's great, but the reactions are extremely painful. Yeah, so it's hard for me not to resist them when trying new foods. Yeah, you're gonna have to get really comfy with like holding yourself through all those things.
And like Tori used to have like these safety measures in place. So she would have her EpiPen on her. She would have, or she would try the food in the parking lot, hospital parking lot. So she would create as much as she could safety for herself in, you know, her conditions. So I'm in the hospital parking lot, I've got my EpiPen, and that's where I'm going to try the food. And she did that a number of times before she felt safe enough to just do it at home. So I think that that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
But it really is like, she really just made a fucking choice. She was like, I want ice cream, and I just can't not do. I haven't stopped. You didn't stop thinking about ice cream for like a month.
It started
was like,
to torture me. I think I got so nutrient deficient that my body was screaming so loud to like just please eat that like I eventually got to the point where I just had to do it because I was fucking starving to fucking death. Like 6 years of no nutrition. Like I was finally just like I don't care if it
you
kills
used to
me.
tell me all the time how you were worried that you were gonna die of nutrition deficiencies.
Yeah, my folate was literally zero. Like some of my nutrients were zero on the blood test, and like my doctor was like, "What's going on?" And I couldn't take any supplements, and I couldn't eat anything, and I was like, "I'm literally gonna die from nutrient deficiency if I don't do something." So that was my motivation for even starting reintroductions in the first place. Otherwise, I may have avoided this for the rest of my life, but I literally was gonna die if I didn't eat something. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I had SIBO. I had all kinds of gut infections. I did all those expensive tests for them to tell me all this useless information about my gut. When this is regulated, everything else will be regulated. This communicates to your entire body and to every organ in your body and tells things how to function. Stay in rest and digest, and everything will flow. Um, let's see what this says so I can read the whole thing. It depends. So, like, this is hard to answer, Shane, from the other side of the screen. Like, I would have to know more about you. You know if it's dangerous or not. You've been in that situation before. Like, did it kill you? Did it close your throat? Or was it just really, really shitty and uncomfortable? Only you can make that choice, right? Like, chest pressure isn't dangerous. Hives are not inherently dangerous. You have to make that choice for yourself. You know your specific situation. Yeah, I had candida, I had all the things. I reacted badly to supplements and medicine. I reacted to all the things. So I avoided all of it. And there was a lot of stuff that I needed that I couldn't take. So my nutrients got really low and my hair fell out. And now I'm like rebuilding. My teeth got fucked up. Like I have to rebuild it all now. Yeah, I reacted to scents. I reacted to the sun. You can react to anything, man. When you're in fight or flight and you're in such a state of dysregulation, you can react to literally anything. Yeah, a lot of people in this space have all those things. They have Danlos, they have all the things. You can still correct these conditions.
I feel like most doctors they don't know about it. They don't know what to do.
Doctors don't
That's
know
why
what
you
to
end
do.
up at the functional medicine doctors, is because regular doctors don't know what to tell you.
And then the functional medicine doctors prey on you as well. That was the worst thing I ever did, was go to a functional medicine doctor.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh yeah, you have this and this and this," and he gave me all these weird herbal antibiotics, and they absolutely put me in full-blown MCAS. Thanks a lot. I would sue him if I could. Couldn't figure out how to sue him, but I looked into it. Yeah, EDS is not inherently dangerous, despite what many people think. There's a difference between feeling threatened because something is uncomfortable, which is most of us, and then feeling threatened because you actually have an anaphylactic reaction to something.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of vagus nerve exercises that helped me feel better in the moment. All that really did was show me, oh, this was literally something I could control with my mind. Like, if I can turn my head a certain way and turn my eyes a certain way and do a vagus nerve exercise and all of my congestion from my nose clears, then like I call bullshit on this being a physical problem, right? So, but still, I wouldn't suggest anybody doing any protocols or exercises, to be honest. Just make a choice. Educate yourself on how this stuff works and how neural pathways are built, how patterns are built in the brain, and then make a choice about what you want your life to look like and stick to it relentlessly until it rearranges and looks that way.
Yeah, I don't have the condition. So how did I figure it out? I mean, I'm an embodiment and identity coach. Like I already had the knowledge about, the nervous system and the mind and the subconscious mind and how we create how our nervous system gets in loops and creates patterns and all the things. But it wasn't until Tori moved into my house and I started witnessing her responses to sometimes like not even having a symptom, not even having a response, but just the way that she would respond to, for example, if she tasted something on my mouth and I was like, this is more than, this is more than just a like an illness, a physical illness. There's something else happening here. So I noticed a lot of the fear patterns, and so we just applied the stuff that I do in the mind body space for emotional healing to symptom healing.
It's crazy. There are a lot of people that remember me
Yeah.
from the carnivore groups and from the like chemical sensitivity and mast cell groups that are like, I cannot believe that you're doing this now, because I was like literally a mess. I was on there every day like, help, what do I do? What do I do? And those groups never helped anybody get better. They just reinforced the fear loop for me. How was your first time smoking pot again? So it's funny. I like had never smoked pot really before. Like it always made me anxious. But I was like, I bet you I can do everything now. And I was like, yep, I can. But it's not like a thing I do every day. But I couldn't touch it when I had MCAS. So now I'm just trying to enjoy things. Dysautonomia is just dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system. It's in the name. Dysautonomia. So yeah, fixing your nervous system will help with those symptoms. All my dizziness and weird blood pressure and temperature fluctuations and all those weird things went away. Change in vision, difficulty swallowing, all that stuff is gone. Yeah, you have to give yourself compassion. That's the whole self-safety thing, is like you have to know how to hold yourself through reactions. You can't do this work and get your foods back if you don't know how to take care of yourself.
But a big part of having self-compassion is self-acceptance, and I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people is how do you have self-acceptance while your body is doing all of these things that you feel like you have no control over, or that feel dangerous. So how do you work through that? Like that's the hardest part, but it's with allowing. Allowing is the only way, because if I try to resist it, then I'm not accepting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Myco lab is very familiar to me. I did a bunch of stuff through them. I don't know what the other thing is. It sounds like an antifungal, which I did antifungals. I did all that shit. It made me worse and worse and worse. So I spent 2 years in the mind body space looking for the right thing. And then once I found the right thing, it took me about 3 to 4 months of doing it before I was completely 100% better. So these influencers that tell you that it takes years are full of shit. It doesn't take years. Once you find the right thing and you commit to doing it, it took me a few months and I was completely back to normal. Like I am exactly the way I was 6 years ago before this mess started. Actually better because I'm more regulated than I used to be. So I'm better off. But as far as like being able to eat and drink and all the things, like I'm back to like the way that I was where I could do whatever. So it doesn't take years. It's not true. They just want you to stay in their membership for years. So they tell you that so that you'll pay the membership fees they have for
Well, and
years.
I think a lot of times too, like it takes years, or it can feel like it takes as long as it takes until you change your belief systems. So if you're hold on to a lot of resistance in your belief systems, like I can't heal in mold, or I can't, I'm not going to heal, like the way that you talk to yourself about these experiences, that is going to tie into resistance. And so it takes as long as it takes because you have to change so many beliefs before you get to a place where you can accept that this type of work works.
Yeah. They said you've produced resources on the right thing rather than doing Gupta DNRS. Yeah, so you don't have to go buy an $800 course. You can just go to our links and buy a $20 book that tells you how to do everything. There's a flare kit there. There's 2 books. One is about specifically living in mold, what to do if you have to live in mold, and one is about changing your relationship to your symptoms, which is the whole framework of this whole thing. We do one-on-ones also, but there's books in there that explain the whole thing. They're short, they're easy to read, they're not expensive, they're on Amazon, they're also in the links. So if you go to any of the links that I have on my platforms, there's a link tree page that has everything in one place. Are you reactive to cyanobacteria? I want to go back home, but the cyano blooms are insane. That's some more mold avoider propaganda bullshit. I can be anywhere in any environment. It does not matter to me what's there. We were never meant to know the names of all these things.
No.
You're not supposed to forget everything that you've learned. If you want to go back home, you should go back home and retrain your brain as you do it.
Yeah.
You should be where you want to be.
Yeah.
Stop showing your brain that you can only stay safe by avoiding something. Because every time you don't go home because you're afraid of it, you teach your brain that there's something to be afraid of. And it just continues and continues and continues. So that's what I would work on. And if you see that you can be there, it's going to kind of blow the whole
I'm trying
illusion.
the Flare audio, which is helping. Yay. That's amazing. Did you get the kit? I just want to make sure I'm excited about the right thing, but
You guys are informative and so much better than a doctor. Just saying, oh, you'll have all these conditions for the rest of your life. Yeah, there's thousands and thousands of success stories online. Don't listen to anybody who says you can't get better because there's tons of people just like me. The nervous system regulation that I'm talking about is allowing. It's allowing the symptoms to be there and holding yourself through that process. So you said you're in a flare right now, so allow those symptoms to be there instead of telling yourself a story about, how it's going to ruin your day, and just allow it to be there and then continue on with what you're trying to do today. Don't focus on it.
it's not about not getting sick and mold. Like, people are going to get sick. How do I explain this?
Well, it's like, okay, so like 3 people move into a house. The husband is not sick at all and thinks the wife is crazy. The wife is extremely debilitated, and then the kid has like the sniffles. Those 3 people in that house all came to that house in 3 different states. So it depends. on the state of their nervous system, on the state of their entire system. I would have to know about their entire life. Just because you don't consciously know the mold is there doesn't mean that your immune system isn't scanning, that your limbic system isn't scanning.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much to do with like what you consciously know. Your limbic system is scanning the environment all the time.
And we react to, and like, if my life is stressful, then moving into mold or being exposed to mold or being exposed to a toxin is another thing in the stress pile. So it's not just about that one thing about the mold. It's about, are you in a shitty relationship? Do you hold a lot of resentment towards somebody? Is there somebody you're not forgiving? Are you experiencing grief? Like, there's so many other things that contribute to the load of your nervous system. So if you're in that constant state of fight or flight, your stress response kicks in, your immune system shuts down, you're more susceptible to get sick.
This is what happened to me. I don't talk about this enough. I need to talk about this more. So I I got sick at my workplace that was full of mold, and I blamed the mold. I'm like, clearly I can't go running anymore, and I can't do this and I can't do that anymore because of the mold. But the truth is that I was in a toxic relationship. I had 4 roommates in my house, and I never got any sleep. I was eating like shit, and I had an eating disorder. I had tons of unhealed childhood trauma that I had never dealt with, and ongoing issues with my family that were stressing me out. My job was stressful, and they kicked me out of my class and put me in another classroom, and they switched my classes all around in the middle of the year because there was a teacher that left, and I got all her work. And this Kristen said, it's a straw that breaks the camel's back and then gets blamed, and that's exactly what happened. Then I got into another relationship, and I just completely fell apart. And I was like, mold. Oh, it's the mold, the mold, the mold. And it's like, no, it's these 47,000 other things that I didn't deal with. So then when I got to the mold, my immune system couldn't handle it. It was not resilient.
Yeah.
I'd had no resilience. My detox pathways weren't working. I was always in fight or flight, so none of my processes were working properly downstream. So when I encountered that mold, instead of being a resilient, healthy person who could process and detox all of those mold spores, I just absorbed everything because I was in tension, in fight or flight, not in rest and digest. So blaming the mold is wild. The way that everybody blames the mold is so crazy to me. Like when I'm in mold now and I'm not having any reactions, but it's because I've dealt with all of my other shit. Can't really read this. We already answered that question. What if your kids are sick? Your kids are your kids are humans just like you. So I'd have to know so much more information about your kids and their parents and the environment and where they've been and the state that the mom was in when she was pregnant and so many other things to know how to answer that. You want to take this one?
What one?
How do you deal with childhood trauma or trauma in general?
Do you think you need a therapist? I think the problem with a lot of therapy is that it keeps you thinking about it. Like you have to bring it up and you have to replay it and you have to meet your inner child and you have to do all of these things. But, and you know, there's a lot of great stuff, like understanding why I am the way I am and tying it back to my childhood and the safety seeking patterns that I was engaging in and all of the things. Like all of that is useful. The problem is it doesn't do anything. It's just giving you information. So the work is actually the very same way that the same thing that we're doing here. It's anytime, for example, my abandonment wound gets triggered. Am I going to run the loop of the abandonment wound or am I going to meet that trigger differently? It's the exact same thing that we're doing with symptoms, but we're doing it with emotional wounding. Every time I feel that sting of rejection, am I going to go blame another person or am I going to meet it differently so that I can move through it and release it? Because a lot of our wounds, a lot of our emotional wounding is just a loop that's trying to finish, but every time I reject the emotional experience, every time I try to fix it or make it go away or try to resolve it or analyze it or journal about it, every time I do something to try to fix it, I'm reinforcing that it's a problem that I need to pay attention to. So it's the exact same way with the work that I do, the recognition work that I do that we're using with symptoms. It absolutely, like, I figured it out through emotional wounding, and you don't need to go back and replay your whole childhood and find out where everything comes from. It just keeps you in analysis, emotional analysis, instead of actually processing that emotion somatically. So I mean, I did therapy for years and realized it was a waste of time. It wasn't really therapy that helped me.
Somebody asked about the motherfucker gene. I have the motherfucker gene. It affects me zero. They play up the importance of genes so that you will buy the genetic testing. I paid $3,500 for a stupid gene test so that the doctor could then sell me a bunch of pills and vitamins that were supposed to be good for people with the motherfucker gene. It's a whole big scam, dude. If you know about epigenetics, you know that you can turn your genes on and off with your environment and with your emotional state.
Mm-hmm.
Genes don't matter, dude. They don't matter. They sure do make a lot of money on the genetic protocols.
More people need to understand state. They need to understand nervous system state. Because my nervous system, if I'm in fight or flight, if I'm in fear, if I'm in urgency, if I'm in protection, that's a certain state that my nervous system is in. And when I'm in that state, that's all that I've experienced. That's all that I focus on. Like, I can't get anything else. And so learning how to change your state is exactly what we're doing. We're teaching our nervous system something new so that we can get out of that stress response, out of survival, out of fear, and move into a calmer state.
Functional medicine doctors have just gotten really good at taking our money and finding new creative ways to do that. So, like, we aren't supposed to know every species of mold and the name of it and where it is. We're not supposed to know the name of every gut bacteria that lives in our gut and what population lives in our gut. We're not supposed to know this shit. We're not supposed to know, our entire genetic profile. Like, all of this is made up shit. Like, it exists, but we're not supposed to know what it is. It's not relevant. The truth is that you don't know how to heal your gut, and neither does your doctor.
Yeah.
This regulates everything. Your brain determines whether or not you feel pain. Like, your brain is in charge of sending the signals to your entire body. So it all starts here and works downward. So you can, like, do things to, like, band-aid the symptoms, but ultimately, why wouldn't you just go to the root of the issue? The control center. I mean, I ended up in the hospital a lot. I spent 60% of my time at the hospital for that 6 years. And nobody ever knew what to do with me when I got there. And nobody was ever there with me. It's not like anybody was holding my hand through that. So if the worst thing that can happen is you end up at the hospital, can you just work on your fear around that? Because is it really... I guess to me it became not such a scary thing. A fear of ending up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the best place to end up, isn't it? Why does the hospital feel scary to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, if you look at it from another perspective, it's like the safest place on earth, right? I used to sit in the hospital parking lot to try new foods. Spent a hell of a lot of my life.
I think the fear is the fear of, like, getting really sick or the fear of dying, right? But
Right.
Again, if that's the fear, being in the hospital is the best, safest place to be.
Yeah. So it just depends where you're coming from on why that's scary. I'd have to understand more why that's scary to you. My functional med doctor refused to test me for anything. She said, let's get rid of the mold first. A lot of them say that. It's incredibly hard to retrain in mold when you have all of these beliefs. And like, I got a break from the mold and I got worse, but I still am glad I had the break because I had so many beliefs about mold that I feel like I would have been a lot more stuck. You can heal in mold, but it is harder because it all the fear and all the beliefs that you have are probably in the way.
This is an interesting question. If you, should I move out of my off-gassing poisoning house? I think if you're perceiving your house as poisonous, then it's kind of perpetuating the whole
Yeah,
problem.
the first thing you have to change, Marianne, is your beliefs about it being poison.
Yeah.
If another person walked into that house off the street, they would have no problem staying there and they wouldn't perceive it as being poisonous. Not everybody reacts to new houses. I understand they're full of formaldehyde and new paint and all that stuff, and it's not probably not good for humans, but it's you. It's not the house. So I would challenge yourself to maybe rewrite some of the beliefs that you have because the goal is not to avoid, right? Now, if you want to move out of the house, move.
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
But if you want to stay, if you really, really want to stay and you're passionate about the house, then maybe you could retrain on it. Maybe you could do some little things to sort of move the needle in a different direction and change some of those beliefs. I would stop using words like poison just because it reinforces
Yeah.
the ideas you already have. And I get it because they tell you online everything's poison and everything's going to kill you, and people are told this stuff.
I can't get it.
Yeah, the hospital hurt me a lot. Like every time I was like, please don't give me anything. I just want you to watch me because this is so interesting. Did they ever try to commit you to psych because they don't know what else to do? Yeah, that happened to me one time. I went in and there was just a grumpy doctor who I later found out had like other complaints against her. So it wasn't me, but I said I have hives and a rash on my chest. I don't know what I'm allergic to, but I need a steroid or something. She didn't even look at me. And she goes, because I had been there a lot. She didn't even look at me. She goes, you don't have any hives. We're going to put you in psych. And I was like, no, the fuck you're not, bitch. And I put my shoes on and I walked out. And then I filed a complaint with her boss later the next day. But yeah, I guess I had been there too many times and she was pissed off. But people who have MCAS are at the hospital all the time and they understand why. Only happened once.
I think you can, Yulia, because like it sounds like you're making a plan, and I feel like when we're taking steps towards the change that we want to experience, it puts us in a different state. It puts us in a different energy. So even though, you're in a dysregulated house right now, you also have a plan to get out. That's able to shift your state because you're focused forward instead of backward. So I think you can.
This is funny. Deborah said, I tell my house every day that I hate it. I guess I need to stop doing that. I mean, you could start instead looking at all the things about your house
That you like.
that you appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate this roof over my head. I appreciate that I'm not outside sweating my ass off. I appreciate that I have a place to put my head at night. I appreciate, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate this kitchen where I cook food, this fridge. I would start looking at all the things about the house that you appreciate.
Yes, and this is exactly what the what else is there? What else is there? What else is true?
What else is true? The workbook.
Yeah, the workbook. It's about expanding your awareness to more than symptoms. And it's about learning how to appreciate the other things that are going on, that are going well, in addition to, what you're experiencing in your symptoms.
And we're not saying that you can't, leave your house if you don't like it. But just in the meantime, instead of ruminating and focusing on what's going wrong, that'll just make things feel worse. Google said poison after listing my symptoms. Are you listening to Dr. Google? And it sent me into an MCS rabbit hole for a year. Yeah, so if you're in a chemical sensitivity rabbit hole, I would encourage you to step off the crazy train entirely and look at other normal people around you. Stop looking at the other sick people who are in the same hole as you telling you poison, poison. Start looking at the normal people around you who have no idea what you're talking about and strive to figure out how do I be like them. That's my goal, is to not to be the healthiest sick person. My goal is to be just like all these other normal people who have no idea what MCS is or VOCs or anything else. Were you only eating salt, beef, and water? Were you taking any supplements? I was not taking any supplements at all because I couldn't tolerate them. I wanted to, but I wasn't tolerating them. The fear mongering around nutritional deficiencies. Yeah, I had nutritional deficiencies. I had a severe folate deficiency, and I felt it. I had bleeding gums from vitamin C deficiency. I know my hair like is extremely short and brittle. My teeth got all messed up because I didn't have any calcium. So yeah, I had severe nutritional deficiencies. However, I didn't die from them either. So a lot of people have this fear. I really had a serious fear that I was going to die from the deficiencies. And like the human body is so resilient. You can go 6 years eating basically nothing and still be alive. So I wouldn't be afraid of it either. If you're in that place and you're stuck, I wouldn't spend your day sweating it and worrying about it. I would just do the best you can and move forward and try to get some foods back when you can. So the way that you change your belief is by looking for evidence of what it is that you want to believe. So, changing a belief, I'm assuming your belief is that it's not possible for someone like you. So I would start looking for success stories online because they're everywhere.
And in both of our books, we put pages of people confirming that this work has worked for them, because you need that. You need to be able to find people who have healed.
Yeah. Yeah, so you need to start collecting evidence of whatever it is that you want to believe. Start looking for evidence everywhere because it's out there. I had to look for, here's what I needed. I went looking for evidence that I could eat processed foods again because
Yeah.
I knew all the doctors were saying, like, oh, well, you can get Brussels sprouts back, and then you should work on cabbage, and then you should work on salmon, and these are good gut healthy foods, right? But I was like, I don't fucking care about salmon, dude. I want a chocolate bar. I need some influencer to tell me that it's okay to eat garbage processed foods, and I'm having a hard time doing that because I know too much about all the shit that's in them,
Yeah.
right? All the garbage and artificial poison, blah, blah, blah. And I need somebody to de-influence me about these things. And like, I couldn't find anybody who was doing that. And then I think one day I finally came across a video, Angie Kirscher, who said, the way that, I think she said something about like the way
Jumping a
that,
timeline. Is that something?
well, she said that you can become someone who isn't affected by anything. She said that you could, if you believe that some foods are good and some foods are bad, it's just a belief, and you could change your beliefs. She didn't say that to me. She said that on a video, and that was just confirmation. That was the evidence I was looking for. And as soon as I found one piece of evidence, I just went to the Cheesecake Factory and ended all of this nonsense. And now I do whatever I want. So start looking for the evidence of what it is that you want to believe, and then your beliefs will start to change. I literally cry watching the video of you eating a chocolate chip cookie. I love this. See? I love this. I love this. This is the best thing ever. I don't care about salmon, dude. I don't. I was like, I'm not willing to risk my life and do all this hard work for a piece of fucking cabbage.
Yeah.
But for a cookie and a cup of coffee, I will die trying. But I didn't have to die. Working through your people pleasing will get you faster than anything else.
Yeah. You can use the same work that we're doing with this. It's all tied together. It's all the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's like people pleasing is a safety seeking pattern. Saying yes when you want to say no, bending over backwards, trying not to rock the boat, wanting to make everybody happy, over functioning, like all of that is abandoning yourself for other people because you think safety lives in their approval. So yeah, it's all related. Heal all that stuff. That's stress on your nervous system.
Chelsea said, I have food envy so bad. I used to love cooking and now I get sad watching people eat food. So this is what helped me get to the point where I was ready to try foods again because we were walking around Toronto and there was delicious food everywhere and I
Mm.
couldn't have any of it and I just got more and more pissed off till I got to the point where I was like, I really want to do this. So maybe use it as inspiration when you see other people enjoying good food. Good. Don't freak out about the mold because guess what? When you go to another apartment,
There's
if
gonna be
you,
mold there too.
yeah, there's gonna be mold there. This is what I did in Florida. I believed I had to find a mold-free place. I literally, guys, went to like 57 Airbnbs. Not even like, that's not an exaggeration. It's probably on the low end of guessing. And that's not including all the hotel rooms I rented. I spent $20,000 in Florida trying to find a mold-free place to live. And guess how many I found?
0.
Fucking zero. So instead of changing everything around you and spending time and money trying to change everyone around you and everything around you, change yourself so you can be resilient. Okay. Tried a granola with cinnamon and woke up with a histamine dump. Do I keep trying? If it's not life threatening and you really want it, why not? But the thing is, having symptoms is not a sign that things aren't going right. You're going to have symptoms. You have to know how to talk to yourself through the symptoms. Go watch the videos I just made. I made 3 demo videos. I had food in my hand and I show you how to talk to yourself through the symptoms. Yeah, 95% probably in the South have mold. I could not find a single thing in Florida. Charred Brisket says we're skipping your questions. I don't think so. What was your question? It may not have been relevant. What is the most angry in the last 3 years you've been? I don't know why that's a relevant question. Or I don't even know what the answer would be.
Yeah.
We're answering questions about relationships and MCAS and food reintroductions.
And healing. Just healing. And I feel it's all just healing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to be a people pleaser.
So was I.
I ended up in a whole ass relationship with somebody I didn't even want to date because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. And I thought it would be mean to leave them. And I let them ruin my life.
No, they brought you to me. They brought you to me.
Yeah.
No, like, people pleasing is, I feel like a lot of women are conditioned into it, right? Like, even just, being a good girl or being told to be nice or whatever. We're conditioned into it. It's not something that, anybody is flawed because they're a people pleaser. It's a valid trauma response.
Yeah. And we've been on here a minute.
Yeah.
It's almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, of course you can heal in Cologne. There's just Cologne where you live. That's an easy one, Rachel. Be so happy that that's all it is. There was a time in your life where you didn't react to cologne, and millions of people wear cologne and they have no issues, right? So it should be pretty easy to change your perception of cologne. That's a good one. That's a good one to retrain. That's like low stakes. That's good. Have you read the book, Cynthia?
Yeah. Curious if you read any of the books.
Because losing all foods overnight is not a normal thing. Lyme causes these same issues. I would read the book, Your Relationship with Your Symptoms, in our links, honestly. I didn't do any weird tapping or meditation or protocols. I just worked on allowing. And there's a whole book we wrote about it.
Yeah.
In my links.
So we have 2 books. We have Your Relationship with Your Symptoms. We have what's the one about mold? When leaving isn't an option, it's for people who specifically live in mold and can't leave.
Yeah.
How to approach healing in that space.
So before we go, we have a flare kit, which is for when you're in an actual flare and you can't think and you can't remember all these things that we've talked about. It walks you through step by step what to do. It has audios that guide you through the process. It has a workbook, and it has the sheet in there that goes over like how to know a true allergy from a sensitivity. And then we have the new one. It's the
What-
workbook.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
What else is true?
What else is true? And then we have the book about relationship to your symptoms and the book about living in mold. And then we also do one-on-one consultations. So there's like a ton of resources in there. There's also an email list you can sign up for in my links.
We have a freebie. If you haven't gotten our freebie yet, 7 perspective shifts to change your relationship. This is foundational. Like you have to change the way that you're perceiving the situation, because the way you're currently perceiving the situation is keeping you in that situation. So it's about changing the way you think about and experience your symptoms. This is the shift to move out of having them. Time to change your mind. Yes. Anyways, are we good?
I think so.
That's it. All right.
for
I
being
appreciate
here.
everybody being here. We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.